All right, guys, we're going to go a little bit early today. We are about 2 minutes early, and I've got a good reason why we're going to start this early. I'm getting out of here, meaning I got to get in the car and we got to travel about 3.5, 4 hours doing another beach volleyball tournament this weekend. And actually, we have a chance to practice with a really great coach tonight. So we're doing that before the tournament. So we're leaving a little bit early. So I got to kind of get on out of here, if you know what I mean. So today we are going to do our scheduled jam session. Today we're going to be talking about what are good open and click through rates with our emails. Some people don't know what to expect, or a lot of times they might expect more because they just assume everyone is opening their emails, which is not the case, by the way. So what I'm going to give you today is I'm going to go through some standard, like what you should expect or what you should shoot for a target, what size list we're talking about here, because that does determine your opens and your clicks and all of that stuff. And then what we'll also do is I'll go ahead and give you a couple of tips to increase both of these. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And if you have any questions on this, let me know. And then what we'll do is we'll address those questions. If you guys are just tuning in here live, I am just starting a little bit early today because I got to get out of here. We are actually getting ready to head to Wilmington, North Carolina to do a beach volleyball tournament with my daughter. And we are leaving pretty much as soon as I get off of here. Got to get the car packed, and then we will we'll get rocking and rolling on the road. So that's what we're going to be doing here this morning myself. But I wanted to just jump on here and kind of get this thing started a little bit sooner today so we can get to any questions that you might have. And then from there, we can get on with our day. All right. So that's what we're going to do. If you guys are here on a replay, and if you have any questions on the email opens and clicks and all of that stuff, just let me know. All right. And then what I'm going to do right now is I am going to kick this thing off, and we'll go ahead and we'll start this jam session. All right. So here we go. Get my notes up real quick, and then we are going to start. And look at that. I'm starting exactly at 10 o'clock. That's probably a record. I don't think I've ever started the actual content side of things at exactly 10 o'clock. So here we go. All right. All right. Welcome back to another Friday jam session. Today, we are going to be talking about, well, a really important topic, one that I get asked a lot about, and that is, Scott, what are good email open rates and click-through rates? Now, if you're listening to this and you're brand new and you're like, Scott, I don't even know what that means, really quickly, we are looking at how many people open our emails on our email list and how many people click a link inside. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, just from doing this years now, I'm going to share with you some things that you can do to increase these as well. But I'm also going to give you the expectations because some people think, well, I've got 1,000 people on my email list. 1,000 people should open my emails. And that's just not the case. I mean, think about this. If you had 10 friends and you sent all of them an email, not all of them are going to open your email immediately or even at all. Sometimes they get busy and then you got to remind them, right? And that's actually something I'm going to share with you on how we can increase the open rate, which then will increase the click-through rate. I'm going to share with you one little tip that if you are not doing this, I want you to start doing this. This will definitely increase your opens and clicks. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. If you are here live on my Friday jam session, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're listening to a recording, but if you're on the live, welcome. And thank you for stopping by. And if you are not on the live and you want to be part of our Friday jam sessions where you can ask questions, head on over to takeactioncrew.com. Again, that's takeactioncrew.com. You can go there. You can watch some past coffee talks and some jam sessions, or you can attend a live one just like this. All right. So let's kind of get to it. All right. And really the big thing that I want you to understand is in order to get more clicks, we need to get more opens. And I mean clicks inside the email. All right. So in order to get more clicks in our email, we need to get more opens. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute, but let's just kind of go over like industry standards. Typically, and this is going to vary depending on your market and your niche and how big your list is. Believe it or not, the smaller your list, the higher opens and clicks. Usually, if you've done it right with your lead magnet and attracting the right people, the bigger the list goes and grows, it will tend to go lower. That's why a lot of times we want to clean our list and we want to, keep our list engaged. And that's why you should be emailing your list every single week, minimum once a week. But the standard is usually 10 to 20%. Somewhere in that range. And there was a study done, or a survey done on multiple niches. And I think the average was between like 18 and 21%, something like that. But there are some niches, depending on what you're talking about, that could be as low as 10%. Me personally, right now, I have been the last, year, I've been communicating with four different niches. One of them, we just sold the brand not that long ago, so I'm no longer communicating with them. That one there, that niche, definitely higher. The other two niches that I'm building inside as a case study, both of those niches were averaging over 18 to 25%. And then brand creators, the podcast and all of that stuff, typically we're averaging 18 to 25% as well. Okay. But as my list got bigger, and I had a list at one time approaching 100,000, we've trimmed that back to where we went to 60,000, then we segmented it, then went to about 25,000, then we segmented it and went to about 18,000, 19,000. But as your list grows, you have to do more pruning and more cleaning of the list. But as you have a list that size, if you're getting 8% open rate, that's great. But then you're paying for all those other ones that aren't opening. So that's why we want to make sure that we know these numbers and we know what to shoot for. For the most part, most people are dealing with a list of 10,000 or less. And that is usually going to be around that. I believe that you should be shooting between 18 and 30%. Okay. For that size of a list. And I'm going to give you some numbers here really quickly to let you know what that looks like. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and open up one of our accounts for ConvertKit. And I literally just sent this email out this week. And the very first email that I sent to this list, and this list is 1,521 email subscribers. So not a huge list, good size list. And that one there on the first email got 17.6% on the open rate, and the click-through rate now don't think that your click-through rate, I didn't even talk about that yet, but don't think that your click-through rate is going to be over 2 or 3%. If you get more than 3% on a click-through rate, meaning people are clicking on the link inside your email, you're doing fantastic. So anything over 3% on your click is fantastic. But like I said earlier, if you want to increase your clicks on the inside, there's a couple things we can do. But the very first thing that we need to do is get more opens on our email, right? That will increase people seeing the link to click on. Makes sense. Now, there's other things we can do in the email. We can draw curiosity around the link, right? Like if you're talking about an example, like, man, you wouldn't believe this tiny little lure that I modified in my garage. And I actually shot a video of me modifying it and casting it. You can check it out right here. You see, I kind of brought curiosity in about this fishing lure that I did in my garage. And now you want to see the video of me actually building it, or maybe, showing it and then casting it. So that's what you want to do in the email to increase those clicks. But on this email, we had 17.6% people open, which is great on the first email. And the reason why I'm saying the first email, because here's that big tip that I always tell people, and inside of Brand Creators Academy, I'm telling them all to do this. And everyone that has done it has seen an increase in their open rates. You want to send another email to the people that did not open your first email. And all you're going to do is just click the little button in ConvertKit that says send to unopens. And I usually do that the morning after. So I'll send the email around 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll wait till the following morning, 9, 10 o'clock, and then resend to the unopens. I'll modify the headline, the subject line just a little bit. And here's the crazy thing. All right. Out of that email that I sent to the second send or the unopens, I got another 9.6% of people to open and another 2.6% click-through rate. So a combined total for that one email was 25.1% on the open and 7% on the click-through rate. Crazy. Okay. Now you might say, well, Scott, that's probably a fluke. That doesn't usually happen. Well, I sent one the week before that. Okay. And my list was smaller at that time. Every day we're adding new people. Again, another reason why you probably should check out the email list building fast track workshop, because we talk about how to increase your email list size by just doing some basic things on your website. But that can be found at emaillistclass.com. Little shameless plug there. But this email got sent out to 1,494 email subscribers. The very first email got 13.5% open rate and a 2.7% click-through rate. Okay. Now, the following day, we sent out to the unopens, and I got another 9.4%, bringing the overall open rate to 21%. Okay. And then the click-through rate, another 2.2. So brought that to a 4.6% click-through rate. Crazy. Okay. And let me see here. Let me go down the list. I'll do the week before that. Sent it out to 1,473 email subscribers. The first email, 18.5% open rate with a 1.6% click-through rate. Let's go to day 2 that I sent to the unopens. 10.1% open rate on that one with a 0.4%, so a little less, but a combined now of 25.7% open rate and a 1.9% click-through rate. All right, so those numbers now, if you do those numbers, 18.5 on the first email, 10.1, it comes up to 28.6, and it's telling me my combined is 25.7. That's because if some people did click and for some reason they got the second email, it's not counted. So they're giving me on the total combined, they're giving me 25.7. So that's the accurate number, by the way. And so, I mean, I'm going down the list here. The week before that one was overall 30.6% open rate with a 5.9% click-through rate. So it's every single email that we're sending here, we're getting between a 25 and a 30% open rate with a, let's see what was the lower of those two. A 1.9 click-through rate totaled all the way to a 7. Let's see, where was that? 7% click-through rate. Okay. And again, not a huge list. As the list grows, it'll probably go down a little bit, but you need to understand that not everyone is opening your emails. And just because they didn't open this week's email doesn't mean they won't open next week's email. That's why it's so important that you send one email every single week minimum, and then you send to the unopens. So if you just get into that rhythm and into that flow, you will get more traffic coming to your stuff, you know, whether it's a new product, whether that's a new blog post, whether that's just you checking in and asking a question. So all of that stuff, when you're doing it, you're staying in contact and you're building that know, like, and trust factor, which is huge. All right. So that's what email opens and clicks look like. But I want to go back to what I said earlier. If you are wanting to get more people to click on your link, there's 2 things that you need to do. One, you need to get a better open rate. And how do you do that? You play around with subject lines. Okay. You play around with subject lines. The second thing that you do is once they do come into the email, you then draw curiosity into the link. Okay. And I think Karen's on with us right now. And Karen, it's funny. We were on it was a BCA office hours call yesterday, which is our coaching call. And Karen was saying that she had something go wrong in her Facebook Live that she did, where, and I'm not going to give it away, but basically she made a mistake. And she kind of screwed up. That was her words. And she was telling us this story about how she she gave them some wrong information. And she's like, I felt so bad, whatever. And I'm like, that's your next email. Your next email is, I screwed up. That's your subject line. And inside it says, yes, I did. But here's why it's so important to do X, Y, and Z, because even I, the one that knows all about this stuff, made a mistake, right? So it's a great way for you to be authentic and real, but it also is a great way to put a nice headline out there, a subject line that gets people curious. What did you screw up on? And then you tie that back into a piece of content. So really, really easy to do. You always want to use your stories. This morning, I wrote an email to my list really about getting lucky. And what I mean by that is like people saying like, oh, you got lucky. You've got an online business. You get to work from home. You're lucky, right? You got lucky. And it all came from because today, the actual day today, May 21st, is my anniversary. And for my wife and I, we've been married 27 years. And I said, I'm the luckiest guy alive. And I told the story about, well, I'm lucky, but I put myself in a situation where I met her. And then when I met her, I proposed to her. And then we built multiple businesses through that so we could then, be able to be with our kids and have the flexibility and all of that stuff. And some people have said, you guys are so lucky. Like, you guys get to work from home. I'm so jealous. You guys are so lucky, right? Everything you guys do works. Everything you guys do turns to gold. And that's not true. We just keep going. They don't see the struggle. They don't see us working late at night, or they didn't see us on when we were in our photography studio, when we had 3 or 4 months that clients were really low and we had to figure out a new way to bring people in. And that's when I started my video transfer business. People don't see that. They just see us picking our kids up every day from school, me coaching my son at Little League all the way up till he was 16 years old, and wondering, how the hell do you do this? Right? You're lucky. You fell into this. No. Luck to me doesn't just happen. You have to take action and do things in order for it to even be there to get lucky, right? I mean, if you really want to break it down, I'm not a big fan of this, but if you're going to win the lottery, you got to play it in order to win. So in order to get lucky, you got to buy the ticket and scratch it off. I mean, you got to go that far. I'm not a big fan of that, by the way. But I am a big fan of like consistently showing up, consistently putting out content. Like, we have a niche site that we've been building now for almost 2 years, and we're approaching 100,000 page views. But people would be like, oh, you got lucky. Everything you do, it just kind of works. It's like, no, there's been ups and downs. There's been our site was taken offline. We lost traffic, but we had to get it back. Right? We're constantly trying to figure out ways to monetize, like all of these things. But people are like, oh, well, you just threw up some articles and now you're getting traffic because everything you do, you're lucky. No, it takes work and consistency. And that's what I really want you guys to understand. Okay. And I know this Friday jam session is all about like email opens and clicks, but I want to really, really be clear on that, because if you're building an email list, you have to be consistent and you have to send the email. I sent an email this morning. I really didn't have time. I actually don't have time to be on here right now, to be quite honest with you. I need to be loading the car. But I made a commitment to myself and to you that I'm going to show up and be here. And then from there, I'm going to unplug and I'm going to go have some fun this weekend. Okay. But I'm sticking to what I set out to do. All right. And because of that, there's some people that are going to watch this later and they're going to come over and they're going to check out some of our stuff, and they might buy some of our stuff. They might buy a training. They might join BCA. Like, there's all of these different ways that can happen, but I know that I need to show up, and that's why I'm here today. All right. So hopefully that helped you guys today on this Friday jam session. If you want to join one of these Friday jam sessions, head on over to takeactioncrew.com and you can do so there, and you can watch all the past sessions that we did there on the Friday jam session. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for a few questions. We'll do maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to have to jump. All right. So let's see. Let's see here. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Okay, Alejandro, what is against terms of service to include in emails? Is a direct link to an Amazon product? Where can we find a set of rules to abide in email so that we are going to do things on the up and up? My big thing for you, Alejandro, and anyone is, if you're with a service, make sure that you read their terms of service. That's number one. You could even reach out to them and ask them what their terms of service are, and then they will direct you. But the best practice for me is anytime that you're including an affiliate link anywhere, I would leave it out of an email. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it. All I'm saying is some affiliate networks say that you cannot promote in an email. So more so than just the email provider, it could be the affiliate program. So you have to look at the affiliate program, because some affiliate programs say you can't advertise. It has to be organic. So you have to be careful there. So the best way to do this, in my opinion, is to create a blog post, okay, like we talked about here, about the product, about, all of the features, all of the pros and cons, whatever, 5 best bass fishing lures of 2021. And then you write an email that sends people to the blog post. And now the cool thing that you get to do is, if your site has a Facebook-wide pixel, which it should, now you're also capturing anybody that lands on your website that you can retarget later. All right. So I would say, to keep it safe, I would send them to your website. That's where you'll do the selling. Thank you, Ruth. Appreciate it. Yes, 27 years. Let's see. Karen, we are sending posts every day on 3 socials, 1 blog a week, 1 email a week. What else can we do to drive traffic to our site? It's being consistent. And to me personally, it's the email. If you want to send more than 1 email, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I send 3 to brand creators. I sometimes send 2 to the other brands that we're building. And in the brand that we sold, I was sending 3 emails a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, I would send the email. Tuesday, I'd send to the unopens. Wednesday, I'd send a new email. Thursday, I'd send to unopens. Friday, I would send an email. And Saturday, I would send to the unopens. Right. So that's one way that you can instantly get more traffic. But it's consistency. And Karen, it is when you're building your content and all of that stuff, it takes time and consistency. I had a friend of mine just the other day. Him and I have become friends through volleyball. Actually, we're going to be together this weekend. And he started a little site. And it all came from us having a conversation about a hobby that he's into. And I'm like, you got to create content. And so the other day, I showed him a screenshot of how we had 71 or 72,000 page views for the last 30 days. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. I got to redesign my site, and I got to get better SEO. And I'm like, no, you have to create more content. You might have 6 posts, right? 6 posts versus 200 posts. Who's going to have the better shot here of getting lucky, right? It's the one with 200 chances here, right? So we got to keep that content going and flowing. What's up, Scooby Life? Good to see you. All right, cool. I think that's all the time we have for questions today, guys. I'm looking at the time here. I am going to have to get on out of here. Got to load the car and get on the road. And yeah, we've got a practice tonight with a really cool instructor. And then we've got a full day tournament tomorrow. I know someone asked what my plans were. So that's my plans, is going to be beach volleyball the whole weekend. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So guys, have an awesome, amazing day. I will be back here Monday. We will do our Monday mindset. Another reason why you should head on over to takeactioncrew.com, because all of the archives are there and you can become part of our Take Action Crew. So head on over to takeactioncrew.com. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, and have an awesome, amazing day. I'll see you soon.